Hey guys, Cgue97 again. This time with a review of the 1/44 scale high-grade mobile Cgue remaster version from the Gundam Seed series. So let's bring in the original one to compare the color scheme. The one color that hasn't changed is the white, still seems pretty much the same. And then the one color that has changed the most and the best in my opinion is now the subdued purple on the chest fence and on top of the head. On the original one, they were kinda pink, you know. Then for the gray we get for most of the machine. On the original one it had more of a greenish tint, has slightly changed on the original one. And then the darker gray for the joints, the hands, the machine, the Gatling gun on the arm, the foot guard there. That is now become a very nice gunmetal gray. So overall, the color change is definitely appreciated. I think I do kind of prefer the greenish gray of the original one, but in general, this one is absolutely better, if only for the pink that has now become the purple color. Then, for stickers, we get a few of them, but all of them are completely acceptable. We have the black that goes behind the mono eye. We have the mono eye itself. It's a separate sticker, so you can put it wherever you want. We have the purple ones on the crotch, purple ones on each of the side skirts. Then we have purple ones on the sides of the foot guard. And finally on the shield we have two very dark gray ones and another purple one right on there. And a very nice metallic green one for the sensor of the Vulcan shield to wrap things up. And of course, this being a remaster, we also get the generic sticker sheet for all of the ZAF machines. And this includes not just stickers for the Cgue, we have for the Justice, the Freedom, the Providence, all the stolen Gundams. We of course get ZAF insignias, ZGMS for the Jin and the Cgue, some ZAF names, of course the Archangel name as well. We got the Freedom and Justice on here. And if you want, you can even give your Cgue phase shift armor. On to articulation, the head goes a bit up, bit down, rotates around all the way. So back in there, the arms also rotate around all the way and fortunately aren't hindered at all by the wings, which have some very nice articulation of their own. Arm will go up about that far, rotates around, bends at the elbow at one joint for not quite 90 degrees. Hands on ball joints will wiggle around, turn around and do everything a ball joint does. Then onto those nice wings, they've got flapping motion in and out. And we'll go up very nicely. This is as far down as they will go. And then this flap on the bottom will also go out. So those are some very nicely articulated wings. And at the waist, we'll turn around all the way. Front skirts are together and they're not going to be able to separate them unless you want them falling out, that is. Legs go forwards that far, backwards about that far, out. Like so, that's as far as you're going to go. We'll rotate around a little bit on that ball joint. Legs are double jointed and very nicely so, unlike the elbows. Then the feet go forwards a bit, backwards quite nicely, side to side also quite nicely, and we'll rotate around all the way. And they are actually double jointed. We have a hinge on top and then a ball joint at the bottom. So you can get some very nice poses with those feet if you combine both joints. And finally, it's kind of articulated, this thruster here on the back. Goes up and down a little bit. And I almost forgot about the wings on the shoulders. They'll go up all the way like this. The bottom one will actually be able to go up all the way as well. And then down all the way. And they are individually jointed, so you can push them all the way out. You can push them all the way up. You can have them like you should have them. You can pretty much go crazy with those wings. So overall, the articulation for the Cgue is about what you'd expect for a mobile suit from that time. The feet seem to be slightly better, but yeah, that is about it. On to accessories, and let's start off with what's already on the machine. We have the Gatling gun shield combo. Unfortunately, the Gatling gun isn't going to be moving. You can, if you want, remove the shield, but then you will be left with, a rather ugly hole there. And unfortunately, there is no such hole on the other side, so you can't get two shields to have kind of like a Cgue Assault combination. So let's put that back on there to cover that up. And then have a look at this thing here. The heavy sword, and the Cgue fits into the hand absolutely perfectly. That's a really nice and solid fit. Also comes with an extra holding hand for the right hand to hold the sword in. And say you don't want to use a sword, you can actually store it on both wings. You have a hole right here and another one on the other side. So even though you can't have two Gatling gun shields, if you so choose to, you could have two swords on your single Cgue. And finally, of course, comes with a machine gun. And the thing about the machine gun is it is a bit wobbly in the hand until you kind of prop it up with the lower arm, and then the machine gun will fit very solidly into the hand. And the final accessory we get is an action-based connector, as we get with all of the Remaster model kits. Now, of course, the good news is you can just use the adapters included with the action-based number 2, no problem whatsoever. Because, well, the problem with this is you have to rip them apart and then put the thing right here. And this is, of course, going to create a gap. Not a huge gap, but it is kind of noticeable. But rest assured, you can just use the normal action-based converters, no problem whatsoever. And I would recommend it while the Cgue isn't super back heavy, for some of the more intricate poses with those giant boosters on the back. It looks fantastic doing flying poses. As always, the inevitable question is, do you want to buy this? Well, the Cgue's always been one of my favorite mobile suits from Gundam Seed, and I would have to say that this thing absolutely does it justice. It looks just as menacing as it should, the proportions are very good, and that's not something they always nailed with the high-grade Gundam Seed line, at least not in 1/44 scale, so that is absolutely great. As for the rest, articulation, it's what it should be, nothing spectacular. Accessories, once again, nothing too spectacular, comes with everything it should come with, didn't forget about anything, nothing spectacular. So overall, the Cgue is a nice, solid kit. Doesn't do anything super mind-blowing, doesn't do anything too wrong. Well, now 1,200 yen might be like 100 yen too expensive considering some of the other machines like the Calamity is also 1,200 yen. The original Ailstrike was also 1,200 yen, the remaster 1,300. So in the end, if you like the Cgue, this is absolutely something you should definitely pick up. If you're a bit split on the Cgue, well, maybe there are a few better, there might be some better deals out there. There's, well, no real need to go out of your way to get this thing, but if you have the opportunity to pick it up, I can definitely recommend it. Then for size comparisons, here he is next to the remaster Jin and the modern Ailstrike Gundam. Both of which might be slightly better deals than the Cgue. The Jin comes with about the same accessories, retails at 1,000 yen. But Cgue, yeah, still has a bit of an edge over the Jin in terms of looks. And of course, very few model kits can really go up against the modern Ailstrike Gundam here. So that might be some unfair competition. And finally, here he is next to the standard sized Gym Custom and the always massive Zaku 3. And that's all for this review, and see you guys next time.